everyone, this is Greyshot117, and I am here casting a Master League game with two individuals, but I'm actually assisted by one more person, that being Romeo. Romeo, you want to tell you who you are and also who the players are?
Hi, Greyshot, and hi, chat, and hi, YouTube, I suppose, in the future. I'm Romeo. I love casting Code 2. I've run a few tournaments of my own, and I also helped co-cast Operation Charlie Fox, and now I'm here helping to cast Master League, which is very exciting. We've got two interesting players today. Theodosios I have seen many, many times. Webster Bolek I'm not as familiar with. But Webster Bolek will be playing as U.S. forces in the north, and Theodosios will be playing as Osther in the south. The map is Amelie Fields, which is a newer map. And just for some background, Theodosios has played in some of my tournaments before, so I'm much more familiar with him and his playstyle. But Webster Bolek, I've never heard of before, never seen before, so I'm very curious to see what he's going to bring to the table here.
Well, so far he's bringing a, so let's see, both players are bringing, I would say, a standard build for each faction. With the USF, we got two riflemen and a rear echelon, which is now being lit upon by a pioneer and an MG in a building, with two grenadiers right now being produced and being brought up to the front. Rear echelon does have to fall back, but I think he did what he needed to. He put down the cover for future engagements, while also causing a little bit of ruckus by holding the Wehrmacht fuel for so long.
It's an interesting capping order from Webster there. He did not send all of his units to the same area of the map. It's very common for U.S. forces to stay close together at the beginning. Instead, he actually spread out completely with a rifle squad going mid, one going far left, and his rear echelons going far right. So I guess he just wanted to sort of take the shotgun approach and cap territory where he would be unopposed.
Yeah, but it looks like here he's already upgrading to what? It's going to be a captain. Interesting enough. And the reason why that's a little more interesting, ladies and gentlemen, is because typically in a build on 1v1, you would see a lieutenant followed by, and then of course a maybe an ambulance if they want to try to make sure they get medical supplies, but typically they want to rush that light tank. But in this scenario, it looks like he's going to try to hold back the Wehrmacht 222 with AT guns. A little more interesting strategy, but I think more viable because of the riflemen now have rifle grenades on the get-go.
Yeah, and I think Captain has always been a little less popular because the AA half-track is just not nearly as easy to micro properly as the Stuart, but it can be deadly in the right hands.
Speaking of being deadly, we currently have riflemen, even though they're outnumbered 3-1 against grenadiers, they are doing something very valuable by cutting off the territory that was just captured by Theodosius.
Nice cutoff there, though. He was able to cut off Theo's fuel for several seconds, maybe just over a full minute.
Yep. But Theodosius now has 3 grenadiers on the field. Again, we now have that captain being upped with a bar that should help its anti-infantry power against these grenadiers, pushing against it. Which, by the way, again, both competitors are now fighting in green cover, so should be an even fight. However, on the right side, it looks like the Pioneers, even with 2 models, is currently winning because that MG42 support.
It's always a risk getting an officer after just 2 riflemen, because that means you're only going to have 3 infantry squads and your rear echelons against 3 infantry squads, Pyos, and a machine gun as Oster. So you're pretty much constantly playing from behind.
Yep. Looks like we have 2 grenadiers actually coming from behind against Webster's riflemen. He doesn't have a lot of good cover options, I would say, but he's going to push forward in any capacity and try to push back those grenadiers. I don't see any additional support, so he'll probably lose this battle. But we're... Oh, actually, hold on. Theodosius is a little late with battle phase 1, so I was expecting a rifle grenade, but not the case.
Has no problem winning that engagement either way.
No, no, you're 100% right, but Webster's not done yet. He's actually moving his rear echelon forces to circumvent the MG and hoping that they can deal enough damage. It looks like they did. Riflemen pushed forward because the MG repositioned itself, forcing the unit back and allowing for Webster to take control of the middle territory.
He's doing all right with the limited forces he has, but he's currently triple capped, and it's only 5 minutes in, so he probably wants to at least grab 1 VP so he doesn't bleed a ton of victory points here in the early game.
Yeah, and he's currently bleeding the fuel and munitions on the left-hand side, but Webster is trying to counteract by taking some key points on the right. with the fuel and a capture, and also getting himself an AA half-track, hopefully bringing that up to the front to deal with Theodosius' men. And so far, he's yet to, again, light mechanized is just now being played, so he should have a bit of time before a Pack 40 or a 222 is on the field to really counter.
This may be one of the most conservative U.S. builds I've seen. Getting an AT gun that early, I think Webster must have a very deep fear or hatred of the 222 to get an AT gun out that quickly.
I think a lot of competitors here have at least had the dream once of the 222 just coming out of nowhere and killing your sniper, your ambulance, any sort, or even knocking out a unit on retreat. So it's a fair fear to have, but maybe not that early with the AT. Maybe not before 5 minutes.
Well, let's give him a chance to prove us wrong.
Yes, absolutely. But, well, maybe not. Theodosius bringing out a Pack 40 instead. Both sides prepping for the armor. Except the only armor that's on the field is Webster.
What I will say is that Theo's timing on the AT gun almost perfectly synced up with when the AA half-track arrived, so
yes,
that is pretty solid.
No, absolutely it is. Rifleman just being a pest and holding in the building, and I gotta say, I'm a big fan of the barbed wire that's all around the, I believe it would be the Axis fuel closer to the base, but still, it is just a bit of a mess here. Up, a half-track coming onto the field. MG got pushed back. Grenadiers going in to still engage those riflemen with only one window shooting, so they should do better, but until that A half-track comes in. He's going in for a sprint, but was suppressed. Not able to get the Faust off. If he would have got the Faust, he probably could have killed the A half-track. But alas, the Pack 40, even with a good hit, is unable to finish it off.
He will be back for repairs for a little while, though. Probably not getting quite the impact he wanted with that unit, with AT already available to push him back. But he has a very strong hold on the map right now. He's got both fuel points and 2 VPs.
Yep. Oh, but we haven't, I don't think we've gone over this. Theodosius has picked Jaeger Infantry Doctrine, which has allowed his Grenadiers to be up to G43 rifles and for a deployment of a Jaeger Command Squad.
That Command Squad is pretty scary. Those G43s can do really good damage on retreating units if they get lucky crits.
Absolutely. They are devastating and a good counter to riflemen, especially riflemen that do not have any bar upgrades yet. I don't think they have the upgrade, but they have not been upped yet. So as soon as the Webster, I'm assuming, gets those men back to base, he's going to start giving them bars, and that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Webster has 3 command points, but he has not chosen his commander yet. If he chose Urban Assault or Heavy Cav, he would have access to Rangers right now, which could be very helpful in dealing with some of his opponent's infantry. Or if he goes Recon, he's only 1 point away from throwing a Greyhound on the field, or maybe an airdropped combat group.
Multiple different paths he could choose, and so far, none have been chosen. Again, it's interesting, the fact he hasn't gone anything, though I think his current strategy is so far worked out. That A half-track has dodged, I watched, like 3 shots from the Pack 40. So far, he's doing a good micro on that unit. That's coming back into mid. Pack does deliver a good blow to it.
You won't get lucky every time.
No. But, actually, one thing to note, chat, and everyone watching, is currently Webster does not have grenades. So don't expect the riflemen to be chucking any grenades against the Wehrmacht as of yet. Now, actually, unless I'm mistaken, because I watched AE's video today about different vetoes in place for different commanders. I believe Jaeger Infantry was one of the top veto commanders currently.
I'm not surprised by that. It is a very popular commander right now.
Yes. No, with its firepower, it can do quite a bit. Speaking of doing that, Rifleman and now Captain moving on in, really trying to put pressure on the Pack, even in a weakened state. And being supported by the AA half-track does certainly help keep that unit suppressed.
Yeah, that Pack doesn't want to get any closer to a squad with a BAR. It's getting dangerously low.
No. Again, but right now, unfortunately for the Pioneer, for the Pack squad, he needs to move up, and he could have probably taken out, but those bars on those riflemen are doing a great job of just keeping the enemy back, unable to move up that Pack to get a good shot on target. Though I will say, Theodosius is doing a good job of taking the right-hand side. So even if the American makes moves in mid, the right is still going well.
big hit from the pack howitzer just got wiped, and Webster's going to get himself a free MG42, I think.
Always a nice find. Up, he does take it. They might try rifle grenade. They will. They get a good hit with the G43s. I think that should be a kill. Pioneers moving in as well to assist. Oh, wait. Maybe not. MG lives? That is a lucky man right there.
That was a really lucky series of events for Webster with a big hit from his pack howitzer and getting away clean on retreat. That'll definitely swing the game in his favor.
The only thing I will currently say that is not swung in his favor is currently map control, which is almost pretty much for most of the map is under Theodosis's hands. So he's going to need to do something in order to turn this tide. And
yeah,
hopefully what... Go ahead.
Yeah, not surprising because Webster's build here is so team weapon oriented. He still only has 3 squads of infantry. They're very powerful now that they have BARs, but getting a pack howitzer and an AT gun in 10 minutes is a lot of manpower to spend on units that can't really do much for map control.
Especially as that M1 is essentially, I mean, again, if Theodosis deployed a 222, it would have been way more effective, but it is yet to really do anything to gain any veterancy whatsoever. So, not really adding up to a big impact in this game as of yet. But luckily, the bars are and are decimating the Grenadiers in mid. Both Webster and Theodosis retreat 1 squad. Rifle grenade forces the captain to retreat. We have the pack going out by, I'm sorry, the M1 going out by itself to grab the munition points.
And that's really all it's been able to do this game is cap some safe territories in the back.
Yeah. Wait, is there... Oh, there... Okay, there's the re-echelon. Yeah. The austere Pioneers moving on into counter. He pops a volley fire to try to suppress, but I think the Pioneers will do just enough to take it out. Yep.
A noble attempt.
Noble indeed.
Utilize volley fire.
Yeah. One thing I should note that Webster needs to watch out for is Theodosis currently has Battle Phase 2 unlocked. So again, that allows him to build a new building, being the, the Support Armor Corps. And with that, he can deploy a Panzer IV, an Ostwind, but I think predominantly we're going to see a Panzer IV.
Probably, and Webster getting himself ready for that with another AT gun in the works.
Great shot, by the way, with the Faust and Pack. A half-tracks limping his way back to base. Captain and Rifleman coming in. Doing quite a bit of work to that command squad and Grenadiers respectively, but luckily MG suppresses and forces them back. Howitzer's doing what it can, but can only do so much.
The capture point is under attack.
Command squad's moving on in on the repair crew, and this could be an issue because if they focus on the unit while they're repairing, they could get a kill or two.
Not necessary. Pack takes the vehicle down completely.
Excellent kill right there. Although I will say, Webster still has the vehicle crew, so you could always use that for something in the future. You could always use some extra hands on deck for capturing territory or maybe stopping the VP bleed he's currently being forced to receive.
Yeah, being able to preserve vehicle crews as U.S. forces is one of their unique features that I have always really liked. You can crew team weapons, cap spare territory, maybe even do a little damage, but they're not the best combat squad.
Yep, MG and Pack are still retreating. Grenadier tries to valiantly hold mid, but just too much firepower from the Americans and forces it back to base. Americans will at least take control of mid, or... Okay, there it goes. Almost walked out of there. And has some additional forces taking over the left VP and munitions, keeping Webster at least in this game for the time being.
And although I was just extolling the virtues of the vehicle crew, they did get wiped on the right side VP by some G43 Grens.
Of course they did. Of course. Hey, at least they have this unit. Dead. But one other thing is the captain decreed some territory, stopping a supply of territory coming into the austere base. Webster, once again, getting himself another AT gun, at least for defense against the incoming Panzer IV, but has yet to choose a commander, which... Very, very interesting.
Yeah, one of the #1 methods that U.S. forces stays strong in the mid game is when they hit 3 CPs, they bring in Rangers or paratroopers, two of the really strongest units that USF has access to. But Webster has not opted to do that, just going almost exclusively with team weapons instead of shock infantry.
He's also not retreating with his MG and M1 currently under a light artillery barrage, but so far the barrage has not really done too much. They've taken it like a champ, and I mean, they lost some health, but overall I've seen it wipe units, so could have been a lot worse. Actually, hold on, a rifleman squad was wiped. I don't know where, though.
It was over on the left side by some G43 grunts. They were standing behind that tractor.
Oh, I see their bodies now. Good kill. Grenadiers are now up to 19 kills. So they've definitely hampered Webster's ability to push with only 2 frontline units now active.
I don't think Webster will be able to take or hold territory if he doesn't get some more infantry on the field. He has 4 team weapons and only 2 infantry squads.
No, it is not looking good. The only thing I will say is that Panzer IV might be in for a world of hurt if it decides to blindly charge into Webster's territory, as Webster is at least holding his M1s in reserve. But unfortunately, they're still a little bit out from his infantry, but they're moving up now to take out that Panzer. But so too is Theodosius' support crew, with an MG now moving on up. Panzer IV is making a hard right, going after the rear echelon squad.
Vet 2 MG42 just got gunned down before it could even fire a shot. I think Webster may be able to steal another one.
Yeah, right now the Panzer IV is busy with its rear echelon squad. Unfortunately, they could have maybe wiped that Grenadier squad retreating, but alas, they did not. Now with the riflemen retreating, the AT guns are open. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, the MG42 coming into a clutch, holding back the infantry. M1's opening fire. 2 rounds, both penetrate. Panzer IV's down to half health.
Big
Quarter
hit.
health.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Trying to fire through the brush, unable to connect. Hitting some stuff in, and the Panzer IV does manage to escape. But, hey, I will say this. Webster's making good work of those German MGs.
Yeah, he really likes team weapons, so why not add a few German ones?
Yeah. Hey, and that will help lock down territory at the very least, especially due to the fact he's down on riflemen. But one positive note is the Sherman now on the field, so that can at least help him combat the Panzer IV. But as I say that, another pack gun seems to have deployed itself onto the field.
Yeah, we've got 2 US AT guns, 2 German AT guns, and 1 German tank and 1 US medium tank. So it's a very symmetrical sort of loadout there.
One issue right now. Wait. Oh, good rush. So we got a sprint from the Grenadier squad. Able to get a Faust on the Sherman. And with the double packs, they did a number. It's very low on health. He might try to direct shot through the brush. Major coming in, try to hold, but... Wait, did he just lock down territory?
That was a weird misclick, I assume. Sherman.
Yep. And oh, he tried the artillery barrage. He must have misclicked that. Unfortunately, did not work. Maybe a smoke would have been better. But artillery's called in, misses the pack, and Sherman, unfortunately, does bite it.
That's a big win for Theo. He's now the only person with a tank on the field, and that's going to give him a lot of ability to pressure his opponent and push him off the map.
Yep, right now we have a lot of infantry swarming in. That MG can only deal with so much, and the Panzer IV is just rushing behind the lines. Gets hit once, but no snares are active, as the riflemen are busy elsewhere, or just not moving, not sure what he's doing. He could go over there and fire a rifle grenade. Infantry's coming on up. M1s are in a complete disarray as they try to make it back to base and deal with the Panzer IV. Grenadiers now moving in on the last M1 remaining.
He just doesn't have enough time to get the shot off.
Pop a rifle grenade and the Panzer IV will die.
Nice.
So both sides have lost armor, but Theodosius has enough time to give himself an Oswind.
He's also got much stronger map control and a triple cap going in the midst of all these engagements. Plus, he managed to decrew both USAT guns.
Yep, and right now is Pax making work of them and trying to make sure they don't get recruited. Where Echelon might sacrifice itself. It will to take the M1, and unfortunately it will perish in the process.
We lost a gun crew.
Major gets neutralized as well, and I will say there goes Webster's entire army.
That was a really nice push by Theo. I think that that's going to seal the deal.
Yep. Without the Sherman to counteract that Panzer IV diving in and losing in such a poor way, Theo secures victory in the first game.
Well, there we go. Theo definitely making a strong showing. His history of competition is shining through. I don't think Webster is quite ready to handle him yet, but let's see what happens in game 2.
Absolutely, but before we switch on over, let's double check to see how each of the competitors did in the match stats. I'm going to quickly pull up the after action report, and we can see right now is Webster dealt 14,000, roughly 500 damage, and Theodosis did about 17,700 damage. Most kills goes to Theodosis, with the best unit for the Americans. Top damage was the M1 with 4,100 damage. Rifleman looks like 19 kills in total. 10 kills with the captain if we combine that. Theodosis, meanwhile, Grenadiers got 51 kills, and he never lost the squad.
Well, it just goes to show he only built 2 rifle squads, and one of them got wiped fairly early on. And he never got any elite infantry like Rangers or paratroopers, so his biggest weakness, I would say, was just his total lack of infantry. And even though he stole 2 MG42s, it wasn't quite enough to compensate for not really having that many core troops.
No, you're not wrong at all. And again, good showing by both players, but Theodosis definitely coming out as a stronger one in game 1. We'll have to see what happens in game 2. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot117, and I'm casting game 2 of a Master League series. With me is Romeo. Romeo, can you go over who the players are and what happened in brief synopsis last game?
Absolutely. So last game we had Webster Bullock playing as U.S. forces in the north against Theodosios' Ostheer in the south. And Webster did a few unconventional things. He didn't pick a commander. He went AT gun very early, right into a pack howitzer, only got 2 riflemen. And as a result, the pack howitzer caught Theo off by surprise a little bit, and he was able to wipe a couple of machine guns and steal them. But in the end, Theo just had too much infantry and slightly better tank micro. He was able to overwhelm Webster in a big push at about the 20-minute mark, wipe all of his team weapons, and seal the game.
Yeah, no, Theo, let's see, and this game is dramatically different because we have 2 different factions coming to the table. One being the Soviets for Theodosis, and the second, for the OKW for Webster. Again, Theodosis is in the lead right now, so he just needs one more win to clinch it in this series. But we'll see how he pulls if he can pull a Soviet win, or maybe the OKW can shine. And for the first engagement is a Kubel versus conscripts behind a truck, so I think those conscripts will pull a win right now. But at least the Kubel's doing a delaying action in the meantime.
It's unfortunate I don't know a little more about Webster. He seemed a little like maybe U.S. Forces wasn't his best faction, so I'm curious if he's a little more comfortable with Oberkommando West. I know that Theo is very comfortable as Soviets.
And that seems to be the case. He's already gotten 3 conscript squads. He's very quickly covering a lot of different areas, building cover, building himself some mines over on the far left side on the fuel in case they decide to rush it and try to decap early on.
Webster's gone with a Kubel wagon. A lot of OKW players don't really like the Kubel wagon against Soviets because it struggles a little bit against conscripts, but we'll see if Webster can make good use of it. I think this is a pretty good map for it.
Well, Theodosis apparently is doing the last stand strategy as those conscripts just perished under Sturm Pioneer fare.
Yikes, there was no reason for that to happen. Just 2 minutes in and he's already lost a full squad.
No, yeah, that was him not paying attention, I have to assume. Luckily, the cover will help the engineers hold the line, but the Sturm's just going to move on in, and I assume get a couple more wipes. Oh, yeah. Engineers making their escape. Down a model, maybe 2. Nope, just lose 1. And he'll grab the munitions on the far right.
Theo's going to be in a tough position now that he just let that conscript squad die, because he also went double combat engineer. So his forces are significantly weaker than Webster's right now. And Webster just locked his commander in way quicker this time than he did last game. Didn't waste any time on picking Overwatch and threw some Jaeger Light infantry on the field.
Yep, again, very good long-range infantry. I would say closer range, they struggle a little bit, but overall, they're still pretty damn good. The one thing I'll say about Theodosius is, if you're going to fight that infantry, guards troops with DPs is a solid choice. But the question is, can he do well enough to hold that territory in order to upgrade those units and actually deploy them in the first place? Because right now, Webster's taking a lot of territory on the map with all 3 VPs under his control, at least for the right now. But right on the right-hand side, conscripts and a good engineer squad. The reason I say that is with minesweepers that detect Webster's mines have already cleaned up some of the right-hand side.
What a difference from last game. Webster just seems to be having so much stronger of a performance than he had in game 1 already.
No, absolutely. And right now, yep, bulk squad's just going to take the field. Conscripts are just going to mingle about, go in the house, leave the house, maybe move over to this, like, fence. They just don't know where to go. I think he might be trying to lure the Volk squad to trip the mine, but I don't think it's going to work. Good incendiary on the conscript. Takes down quite a bit of health. Actually, conscript was probably going to lose this fight. The only thing I'll say is the Volk squads now have 2 models. If he hits the mine, it's GG for that squad, or possibility. Oh, actually, conscripts pull a win there. Good for them.
Close one.
Very close. Meanwhile, we have more conscripts engaging Volk squads in mid. And looks like we have the Jaeger squad on the far right. But they've also, weirdly, actually, I'm surprised they had time to do this. They've actually deployed the flares on the fuel. So that comes with Overwatch. It allows the ability for when an enemy trips it, it shows what is over that specific point. Really good for helping you determine what to send to take them out. Oh, and I should also note, Webster has gone with mechanized. So Panzer II, Stuka, Puma, all possibilities right now. I think a Panzer II would be best at trying to keep the infantry contained in the base, as Theodosius is yet to deploy any AT.
We do have tier 2 up for Theo. Maybe he wants to go with a Maxim or something like that, since he is a little bit behind, or maybe he's just building it as an intermediate step between his tier 3 structure and his T70.
No, absolutely. Looks like conscripts as well. Just, once again, Theo making small mistakes right now in this game. He just didn't cap that territory, and now he spent like good 10 seconds just sitting outside of it. Now he builds cover in it. Good for him, but still.
I wonder what happened to cause him to get so rattled between game 1 and now.
Again, he had a nightmare about fighting the that 222 coming in from the Austere. Except, I don't know why he's confused. Maybe the Kubel sparked it. He just sees a light vehicle from the Axis. He's like, oh my god, no. Or maybe the Kubel itself is bringing fear to him. That could also be a possibility. It was in both engagements where he's just started losing it a little bit. The Kubel could be striking fear.
The King Tiger is a scary vehicle, but nothing strikes fear into the hearts of man like a Kubel wagon.
Exactly. Again, the probably one of the strongest units in the game. I say that with a straight face, definitely. Anyway,
I caught a game on a Korean stream of Company of Heroes just this morning. Actually, PFC was streaming. He's a very talented Korean player. And I think he built a good 12 or 13 Kubel wagons against his opponent, and he did win. It was a 2v2 to be fair, but yeah, it has happened.
No, absolutely. We actually, speaking of vehicles, we have a Puma on the field. Interesting choice, but a good one, because a Puma, even though it's not a tank, it's still susceptible to most tanks with their weapons, but it is very good at hunting light vehicles. And luckily, Theodosius has deployed perfect prey, being the T-70.
Webster is not one to get caught without anti-tank. Good luck rushing a vehicle against him.
Yep. Conscripts, though, are taking mid. Do they have AT grenades? They do not. So they have no okay, they're just getting the upgrade right now. So they will have a viable counter to that.
AT grenades now available to all conscripts.
Alrighty, and actually, we have another light vehicle. Webster has deployed himself a little Goliath. You don't see these babies in 1v1s, but if you ever watch a Skippy game, or any of the other 4v4 games, you know they mean a lot of business.
Always fun to see one of these. Very unusual in 1v1s.
Yep. But, again, also I like to see the Kubel still on the field because it can use its ability to detect units on the minimap, so Theodosius may not get the element of surprise he wants.
That Kubel's up to Vet 2. We're seeing some pretty solid light vehicle micro from Webster this game.
No, absolutely. Puma, stuck on the Goliath, it seems.
Look at this infantry position on Theo's cutoff. Using
no,
his
it's
bags against them.
very strong. Goliath actually going in against the conscripts right now.
Oh no!
He's suppressed, and there he goes. Also, he's laying his other unit. Oh, okay. I guess that's game 2.
Theo just throwing in the towel. He lost conscript squad early, lost another one there to a Goliath that he didn't quite notice, and I guess he just thought, all right, I need to do a little brain reset here, pay a little closer attention, and come back strong in game 3.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's only 9 minutes, so there's not much there. But at the very least, I'll say that if we look at overall kills in this after action report, we can absolutely see that Theodosius took quite a number, whereas I know they're Soviet, but still. And then Webster doing pretty well for himself, losing multiple squads in that game. Theodosius didn't help himself out in that regard. He almost lost another one if he didn't surrender. So, yeah, again, unit preservation is so key because map control can swing in a balance if you have that one conscript squad alive or, well, blown to bits. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot117, and I am doing a Master League game for this series, and it's actually game 3. It's been 1-1 so far, and actually, I'm joined today as well for this game by Romeo. Romeo, can you go into what happened in the last game and what's going on here? Because it seems to be a little bit of a confusing situation given your history that you know.
Yes, thanks, Greyshot. So we're at 1-1, Webster Bolek versus Theodosios. Like I said before, Theo has competed in my tournaments before. He's got a long history of being a strong player in Code 2. Webster's more of an unknown quantity. And in Game 1, Theodosios, I wouldn't say he stomped Webster, but he just had a very solid textbook 20-minute victory against a slightly unconventional build from Webster's U.S. forces. But then in Game 2, Theodosios made some very critical mistakes in the early game. He lost a full conscript squad to Stern Pyos. There's no real reason for that to happen. Just didn't seem to be paying attention. And then later in the game, he lost another full squad to a Goliath that he just didn't seem to notice, and then threw in the towel within 10 minutes. So Webster made a much stronger showing there in Game 2. And here in Game 3, he is allies again, but he's not U.S. forces. He's now playing Soviets against Theodosios' Oster, and the map is different too, so we could have a totally different situation from the first 2 games.
Well, obviously we're going to be different because not only are we on Nexus, which is a very interesting map, but we have Webster's being unconventional again. We have 3 engineer squads. I know when you pick Special Rifle, which is the building he went, so that way he doesn't get an AT gun support mortar. He's instead going to get possibility of a sniper, scout car. In this situation, he's deploying a penal. I've seen 2 engineers, but no, he's gone 3.
Yeah, I think 3 is really pushing it, especially against Oster. Against Oberkommando West, maybe I could see it. I think there's a little more potential there. You can get double flamethrower. This is a great map for the flamethrower. But I don't know. I think that is a very, very risky build order.
No, absolutely. And yeah, he's getting himself a scout car with that too, so he could combine maybe for a was a clown car with essentially an engineer with a flamethrower in it. He could use it as a quick rapid response minesweeping vehicle, or maybe even my personal favorite, throw in a penal squad in there, give him some PTRS rifles, and make it an anti-tank car.
Yeah, lots of options, and it's hitting the field now.
Yeah, the one thing he has to worry about, though, is every Grenadier squad has in its possession a Panzerfaust. So if he gets too close, he could be Fausted and taken out quite easily.
Theo going with a much more standard build, 3 Grens MG42, just like in Game 1. And that was a winning strategy for him there, so I'm expecting pretty much the same thing here, but he will have to contend with a vehicle.
Absolutely. It looks like the Penal Squad is moving into the cover by the train car, which will allow him to fight even though he's under fire by the MG. We have additional engineers pushing in to grab the lower capture point to cut off munitions from Theodosis. Penal still holding strong, and in the middle, the engineer squad down south got pushed back by Grenadiers.
There's just way too much stuff in this engagement for that Penal battalion to take on single-handedly.
They did do work. Both Grenadiers lost almost half health and at least one model. So they did work. And the scout car can at least play coy right now and try to keep the Pioneers and Grenadiers from moving up too much. But then unfortunately the engineer squad up north has to retreat. It's under too much fire.
Theo having some really nice fuel control in the early game. It looks like he is going to successfully hold the north and harass the south. He will get cut off in the south, but Webster's not going to have any fuel income here shortly.
I don't know if this is on purpose, but if you look at the south fuel, how the barbed wire it is currently laid, that Grenadier squad has to get out of there, because if he tries to stay and cap it and lose a bit too much, the retreat path could really mess him up, whereas the scout car could just rush through it and finish off the Grenadier.
I wonder if there's enough space there in the northeast for one unit to sort of sneak into the capture circle.
Maybe. Maybe, but again, right now, I think the focus is on the engineer squad, which again, I'll give credit. The engineer squads have just spread out to capture so much territory that the Grenadiers are busy fighting, again, the Penal and other things. They're just having a rough time. Good mine on the retreat. Gets 2 models. Excellent play by Webster. Again, doesn't kill the unit, but still does enough to where it will take longer for it to come back out. We do have a light mechanized building being deployed, and now a 222 on the field. So, if I'm Webster, and if I see that 222, I only see one option, but he doesn't have the resources to deploy it as of yet.
Scout car has been upgraded to a flamer car. It's got the flamethrower engineers inside, so maybe he'll be able to make use of that. He doesn't have much time before the 222 hits the field, and then he won't be able to do much of anything.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Webster deployed airborne troops, so he will be able to deploy a Dushka. He'll be able to deploy a weapon crate once again against enough resources to upgrade his penals, maybe with PPSHs or conscripts that he's deploying right now with SVT rifles.
This is a very strange build, I have to say. It is so unusual to see somebody open with penals in a scout car and then back tech to conscripts for the SVTs.
No, absolutely. And right now it looks like his goal to counteract that 222 is, well, go with a light vehicle, most likely a T-70 to counteract it. But I have to say, results are paying for themselves. If we look at overall map control, and if we look at how the game has so far gone, Theodosis has not just completely dominated Webster. Webster's gotten a good few hits in with his unconventional build order. And he's also not lost any units.
Yeah, and he's got a second flamethrower cooking, so he will get at least 2.
That does not mean he's prone to being perfect. He has made a critical mistake. He luckily rectified it. He stopped making the battalion command structure, the tier 3 building, literally at the last second, so he was unable to deploy anything. Now he can. So now he can get the T-70 out if he wishes.
Not queuing it up, though. Interesting. He's got the resources.
No? Oh, Su-76? Okay.
Okay. Good luck.
Yeah, again, unconventional. Most players would go with a T-70 approach, but not in this situation. This situation will go with an Su-76. Good against infantry and armor. More effective against armor, but still. Wait a second. Scout car backing on up over a mine. Pathfinding could mess him up, though. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to lure the 222 in to hit the mine, but he dies, unfortunately, from pathfinding.
Yeah, just couldn't quite find a way to round the corner there.
No. But his men are moving on in, and while an engineer squad plays bait in the south, we have conscripts coming in with penals in. to flank that MG, and it looks like they will be able to do something against it. Engineer squad will probably die, though, near the VP and mid.
Going down fast.
Well, 222 is giving chase and gets the kill.
Yep, there they go. SU-76 is out, though. Maybe he'll be able to trade. He's a little far away.
Well, now he has also deployed some guard airborne troops, so good close range or far, depending on how his upgrade path goes. Conscripts are busy down south. The engineer squad needs to retreat. It's so low on health. And he doesn't have AT grenades, so the 222 could dive and be unaffected. Alright, chat is currently divided on the Su-76. Some saying it's better than the T-70, others saying it's a critical missed opportunity for him. No matter the case, it's going to be determined in the next few minutes.
Yeah, I personally would go T-70 every time. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Right now, Webster doesn't look like he has the resources to upgrade either the penal with, oh wait, no, he actually put it into the penal, my bad. And he got some anti-tank rifles. Missed that purchase, but good for him. At least he has another AT unit at his disposal.
Guards airborne troops are a 360 manpower squad. This is a pretty expensive squad. You really need to put them to use once they hit the field, but all they've really done is wander around capping territory so far.
You're not wrong. And if we look right now at everything on the map, it's easily going in Theodosius' favor. Webster has lost 2 units so far, and with 4 frontline units, and I do count the Panzer Grenadier squad even, absolutely. So again, it's not looking all that great. Su-76 though charging on in.
Just goes to show what an impact the 222 can have. As soon as it hit the field, the tenor of the game totally changed.
Hold on, we're seeing the Su-76 actually chase the 222. It does connect a hit, but the pack also returns fire and misses. The Faust is live, and unfortunately the 222 is, I'm assuming, debating about maybe jumping on in there and getting it behind. The biggest weakness of the 76 is the fact it can't turn its turret. So if you get behind it with that autocannon, it can do some serious damage.
Those airborne guards are just getting shredded.
No, they are, but it looks like they will be able to live. Flamethrower coming in, trying to burn those grenadiers out of cover with the conscript laying down that support. But it was an unfortunate opportunity. We're seeing another engineer squad get wiped. That one was with the flamethrower.
They went down quick. He must not have been expecting so much damage so quickly.
76 missing its barrage on the MG. Everything's just walking through it. We may have another Faust. No, actually he doesn't have the munitions.
Oh, some pathing issues.
Yeah, pathing. Fortunately, causing issues for Webster, but he has upgraded all of his infantry to even the guards are being upgraded with PPSH. Conscripts focusing on the pack, getting a couple of models taken out and some health removed, but the 222 still lighting it up. Oh, good mine! Hits the Panzer Grenadiers in mid.
Very nice. Webster having some serious manpower issues. He's had to reinforce a lot of wounded squads. He's lost 2 full squads of combat engineers, and his forces just look so small compared to what he has to contend with.
Absolutely. Right now, and again, if either opponent loses this game, it's GG. They already lost 1 life in the tournament so far. So the winner will move on, the loser will have no lives left, and will have to, well, will no longer be able to compete in the Master League. Let's see, or at least for this round. Anyway, Grenadiers opening fire on the penals, but we have the barrage coming on in against the Grenadiers, but it once again misses. Again, that's 70 munitions essentially down the drain. Webster has yet to upgrade his base. He needs more infantry. Actually, I'd probably say a Dushka would probably be a very good support unit he needs, because he's good on frontline troops. He just needs a little more support.
Yeah, and it's a little weird, too, since he seemed to enjoy team weapons so much as OKW and U.S. forces, but as Soviets, he hasn't gotten a single one.
Enemy forces are
Yeah, and
attempting
it's
to capture
again
the
that's
safe
why this doctrine's so good, because you can drop in that sport equipment without the need of upgrading to the sport weapon Campania, where all the sport weapons are for the Soviets. Well, we'll see. Right now we have guards about to get vet 1 as they mow down these grenadiers in mid and force them back. Meanwhile, up north we have yeah, good engineer squad burning the grenadiers, but S-76 once again pushing a bit too close for its own good.
He must be looking for barrage opportunities or something. I don't know. The T-70 would have been able to harass infantry this entire time, but the Su-76 is basically just parked.
Yeah, the one thing I'll give credit to right now, as long as he doesn't get Fausted, so don't get Fausted, is the Panzer IV is about to become live on the field. And once it becomes live, Webster will desperately need AT. And luckily, the Su-76 can play that role. It will need to be supported by conscripts and penals. Conscripts because they need the AT grenades, and penals because of the rifles they have and the satchel ability in order to keep the Su-76 and the Panzer IV from getting too close, thereby reducing the 76's effective capabilities. Go with that.
Wow, those Grens behind those sandbags are just fighting off waves of Soviet infantry single-handedly. I don't think they even took a loss there.
Yeah, no, they have 18 kills right now. The remaining Grenadiers have 17 kills. We got 4, and Panzer Grenadiers only have 2, but they've been mined quite a bit and forced back. Speaking of mines, we have a Teller mine. Really well placed. S-76, very close to walking into it. I don't think he will, but still, something to consider.
Theo's great fuel control is paying off now. He's got a Panzer IV already on
Wait.
the field.
Oh, okay. The Panzer IV almost went over the Teller. That could be a good hit. Luckily, his 76 backs on up, and the Panzer IV does miss.
And Webster does have his Tier 4 up, but he's still quite a ways off from a tank or a tank destroyer of his own.
Yep. All right. Let's see. I think he... no. Oh, he got... He actually... Wait, hold on. Let me double check Webster real quick. Yeah, he upgraded to mechanized armor. So, again, we could see a T-34 out. It would be a while unless he gets that fuel back before he gets an ST-76. And I don't think a Katusha would be very viable in this game. Because, again, I don't think he has enough defenses to stop the Panzer IV from just rushing the base.
In case you are curious, by the way, Theo was knocked into lower bracket by Boro Badger, so well played by Boro Badger there in round 1, and Webster was knocked into the lower bracket by Ashabwa, so neither of these players was put here by...
Yeah, unfortunately for Webster, that strafing run by the Airbornes just didn't do anything against the MG,
Yeah.
and while the Grenadier squad, Panzer Grenadier squad was effectively pushed back by the guards, now we have 2 Grenadier squads, both, again, Vet 2 or Vet 3 respectively, now pushing against either low-vetted or recruit conscripts. They're going to need to do a lot of work to hold back all those men.
And it feels like Webster's army hasn't gotten any bigger for the last 6 minutes. He still only has 5 squads, but finally at least a T-34 is on the way.
One positive is the fact that Theodosius wasted 2 rifle grenades. Conscripts just walked up after the 222 destroyed its cover. Negative is he still didn't have the firepower to hold off those grenadiers, and they can very quickly heal themselves if needed on the front.
Enemy has broken our supply lines.
222 did take some hits from the penal squad, but most of the infantry is now heading back to base. And, yeah, Panzer IV as well getting some repairs, but luckily the double Pioneer squad's going to allow for some quick repairs.
Considering what Webster has to work with, that wasn't a bad push in the south. He at least got a little trickle of fuel there before Theo pushed him back.
It was enough to get a Panzer IV, not Panzer IV, a T-34 out. And, yeah, right now, he's making an attempt to recapture his munitions by getting the capture point that connects it. Alas, it looks like Theodosius and the austere army that he's controlling is moving in to intercept. And you still have to worry about that teller mine. He keeps getting dangerously close to it.
Theo's probably wishing he had moved that just a little to the south right now.
Oh, wait. I don't think he's wishing anymore.
Perfect. Ooh, that was close.
Panzer IV going in for the kill. S-76 moving up to intercept. Luckily, Panzer IV does miss, but he doesn't care. He's going in. Penals are too far. He misses again?
Bounce.
Hold on.
Oh, no. What is happening?
Still, look, T-34 died, but if he can... Oh, S-76 missed. Any mines? No Soviet mines in the region. But he's diving the Su-76 in.
I don't know if that P-4 can escape.
There's a log that's currently floating through the air. And the 76 is trying to finish him off.
Will his Su-76 finally pay off?
He's trying. Now the 222's coming in. And again, he can do damage on the rear armor. Penals, I assume, have to be coming on in. But the... What is this? Panzer IV now backing on up. He's no longer being chased. He's now the predator. Su-76 now off in the corner. No support. What is going on?
GG. Calls it right there.
Yeah. Oh, what heck of a Scooby-Doo chase right there. But yeah, it doesn't really work when Scooby comes around with the club and takes out the monster chasing him. But yeah, no, it's GG right there with the 76 down. Looks like the infantry was blocked quite effectively by the Grenadiers and the Panzer Grenadiers, I have to assume. So they weren't able to support, and with by himself, without able to turn that turret, it was game over.
Nice micro there by Theo in the end, circling around the house with his Panzer IV and following up with the 222 to support. And that was a really nice play to take out that Su-76.
Absolutely. And also Theo did a wonderful job at just smacking Webster's forces. Webster only gained 39 kills, Theodosius 91, respectively.
Yeah, well, can't say I'm hugely surprised. 3 combat engineers with the scout car, and then back-teching from penals back down to conscripts. I don't know, it felt like a very confused build. It didn't have a very coherent, solid foundation to work with, I don't think.
Yeah. Again, those Grenadiers gained 56 kills, respectively. Webster only getting 10 with his penal, and his combat engineers, I can't imagine getting much more. The best unit he had with those guards troops, the airborne specifically, they did pretty well for themselves, but alas, they can only do so much, being the one unit. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for this set of games. But luckily, I believe we have another set we're going to be covering in just a moment. Hello, everyone. This is Greyshot117 here, and I'm with Romeo, and we're casting a new series, this one being Twisted Tootsie versus Helping Hans. What map are we on, Romeo? And can you kind of go into a little backstory, if you can, with these players?
Sure. So we're on Mill Road. I think this is maybe a slightly modified tournament version. I'm not familiar with the updates they made, but also known as Mullenweg. And Helping Hans almost needs no introduction. I think it's fair to say he's the biggest streamer in KO2 that KO2 has seen, with the exception maybe of like Sunday Night Fights or something like that. But as far as just a player streaming, Helping Hans, probably.
He's definitely probably, at the very least, he has contention for #1 spot right now.
Yeah, so very well known. People play him all the time. He plays a lot of team games, though. He plays with subs, so you don't always get to catch him streaming 1v1s, but he is a force to be reckoned with for sure in 1v1s. He is officially a pro KO2 streamer, as he has won at least one tournament that I'm aware of. So he's a very strong player. And Twisted Tootsie is a little bit more of a, I don't want to say a troll player, but just like Webster, a little bit more of a unconventional player. He uses builds that other people don't use that often, and is also not to be underestimated, though, because he can very frequently catch his opponents off guard.
And to do that, I mean, they probably expect it with the American forces in a 1v1 competitive scene, but Tootsie has deployed a mechanized truck, and I guess he's going to hopefully use that to push the Volk squad out of cover. so that way the rifleman can do the work. And I will say I take a small offense as a 4v4 streamer. With Major and Skippy, unconventional, can still be very, very effective. Although in the last series we did, it wasn't so much, but still can be effective.
Well, Tootsie, I think, loves this style of unit where he, like a light transport unit, he loves the Opal Blitz when he plays OKW. He likes to dodge as U.S. forces. He gets the Opal as Oster as well, but that's not a transport. But he likes to be mobile. He likes to have the ability to traverse the map quickly.
Yep. I will also say this. Hans is, again, like you said, a very, very good player and will take advantage of someone. I know this from personal experience. He beat me in Company for Us 2 with literally one hand tied behind his back. And I do not mean that figuratively. I mean that literally. He had a hand tied behind his back, and he beat me in a competitive scene. So, yes, he knows his stuff, and he knows how to keep an enemy contained, like he's doing right now with his Volk squads in cover right outside of Tootsie's base. But it's cutting off resources that Tootsie has taken up in the north.
Nicely done getting the sandbags up on the cutoff. That's not easy to build a defensive position that close to your opponent's base, but he was able to do it while Tootsie was back repairing his dodge. The dodge is upgraded with the 50 cal now, though, so he was able to use that to force one retreat, and he should be able to start racking up kills.
Hopefully. Again, good job with the Puntful Slayer squad. While it's not great early on in terms of firepower, one thing it does excel in is countering light vehicles with its, I would say, longer range AT grenade that it can fire, and it did exactly that, knocking out the mechanized truck. And by the way, this patch does cover the mechanized truck's inability to have its own vehicle repair crew, which means it has to rely on rear echelons.
That's right. That's probably why Tootsie went with 2 rear echelon squads. Again, a little bit of an unusual build for U.S. forces to do that, as they have almost no ability to perform in combat, at least until they get to around Vet 2.
Yep. But who knows? Maybe put it inside the military truck and it will increase their capabilities. Maybe not, but still. Stern Pioneers are engaging and looks like winning against the military truck, unfortunately for Tootsie.
Yeah, he did a little damage there, but nothing too impressive. He couldn't stick around to prevent the point from being decapped, and that sandbag position is going to cause all kinds of problems for Tootsie here.
Yeah, again, right now we have the military truck opening fire against the squads, although very low on health. The Stern Pioneers could focus and maybe take it out with the Puntful Slayers coming on in. Getting an unfortunate situation. And he,
is just going terrible for Tootsie. He's just not getting any damage done that he needs.
No, the military truck has not gotten any kills. Echelon needs to retreat now, otherwise Sturms and Puntful Slayers could kill him. And he just got the Minesweeper upgrade, so he doesn't want to lose a unit with an upgrade.
At the very least, Tootsie has done some nice harassment on the right side, preventing Hans from having any fuel income. I think Hans has much better map control right now overall, but at least the fuel situation isn't too bad for either player.
I will say, right now Hans is actively searching for the military truck, which is hiding up north. It has been revealed by the Volk squad, and I believe this is it. And there it goes.
There's no escape. Hans really wanted to take that thing down. He dedicated basically his whole army to hunting for that thing.
He didn't just kill it, though. He's actively tearing it apart to bring back to OKW command and get that 5 sweet fuel he gets from the dead carcass. So
he also healed his squads there in the north. I'm not sure what that ability is that allowed him to do that. Airdropped medical supplies, apparently.
Was it the... Was the Stern Pioneer squad? No.
Oh, you know what it is? It's that this map actually has a hidden medic crate there in the north, right behind that little house. It's on the map automatically, and I think that Hans just picked it up with his squad.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I see it there. Okay, I forgot about that. Okay, good. Again, this is why it's great to have someone who knows can see the map from other angles, because I completely missed that.
I've actually never seen someone actually use that medic crate before, especially not in a tournament game, so that's kind of a fun little pickup by Hans.
Yeah. Now, I can't wait for the KO2 game where it's on the map where if you activate 3 switches with your troops, a Megalodon actually appears and will squish the Germans. It's quite astounding. But, or maybe Battlefield. One of the KO, it's either KO or Battlefield has that, if I recall. Anyway, back to reality. We have a half-track from Twisted Tootsie coming on in, as well as some additional riflemen to help counteract all the frontline forces that Hans has. But Hans himself is deploying a Puma. So, both sides.
Twisted Tootsie is not letting his rear echelons lie down on the job. He is just building an absolute fortress of barbed wire over here on the left side.
You know, you got to keep them busy with something, and well, if it causes your enemy to just hate having to deal with it, I think it's done a good job. Any pain it causes is very, very good. Now, luckily, again, you got the Stern Pioneer squad with the Minesweeper ability and also the barbed wire removal ability. Plus, you have the Puma, which in itself can just run over all the barbed wire. So there's multiple ways you can deal with it.
I don't know if Tootsie was expecting Hans to go mechanized here, and the Puma is going to be a serious problem for him.
No, absolutely. But one positive note is, at the very least, riflemen do or should have AT grenades on them, so they can fire it and hopefully snare that Puma if he tries to go in for a dive. Just out of range, however, riflemen are unable to. Where's the... Oh, he has a bazooka team. Double bazooka hits. Won't be able to... Can he get the...
Puma's in danger. I'm not sure what's going to happen here.
Direct fire is unable to finish it off as the attack round only got 1 hit with the bazooka. Second one missed. Yeah, and Tootsie's on the retreat.
No, that honestly went better for Tootsie than I thought it would. I figured the Puma would just drive right up to the half-track and kill it unscathed, but the bazookas at least came close to punishing him for that.
Yeah, but right now that's not what Tootsie needed. He needed a win there, and unfortunately now with the MG34 kind of keeping his men contained. And what sucks is because of the barbed wire, it makes it a little more difficult to flank that MG34.
Yeah.
So helping Hans using his enemy's own trap against him, I guess.
I think that Tootsie's build really relies on that half-track staying on the field and using it to deal with infantry that he can't quite handle or MGs because his own forces are quite weak compared to 2 Volksgrenadiers, Stern Piles, MG34, and 2 Fusiliers, which are getting their G43 upgrades. Tootsie doesn't even have a BAR on his captain, and he's got 2 rear echelons. He just doesn't have a very strong force right now.
No, now he's desperate. He's going in for a second AA half-track. Not what I expected, but alas, his pick. Riflemen are now also having a rough time with the NG, just jumping back and forth over the cover.
That had to be a misclick. Yeah, I'm not surprised by the second half-track because, like I said, I think this build is dependent on it. I just don't see how he's going to do anything without some kind of vehicle.
Unfortunately, he might have to also contend with the fact he might lose a rifleman squad here. G43s are just shredding this rifleman squad on the retreat, and unfortunately, they just keep running into it, forcing a slow retreat, and they were able to wipe it.
Ouch. That fuel harassment by Tootsie has been going all game long. As you can see, Hans has just not really had a fuel point at any point. He doesn't have one now, but I'm not sure it's going to matter.
No, at this point, it doesn't look like it. Hans has been dominating Tootsie this entire game. And unless Tootsie can come up with a major upset, which we've seen with other competitive players, I believe Elpern and... Wait, was it Elpern? Or Orange Pest, or a few other players I've seen in previous tournaments just come in with a major win, even though they had half an army. Von Ivan's another person I've seen do that. Can Tootsie manage to do exactly that?
He's the sort of player that, if anyone could do it, it would be somebody like Tootsie. I have to say, I've never seen one sandbag cause so much of a headache in a game before. This one sandbag on the cutoff, still standing and still causing problems for Tootsie, forcing him to try and attack on other fronts.
Yep, Rifleman going around it, hopefully to remove that cover advantage. And it looks like the Bazooka team, I believe, removed some sandbags. A half-track has been snared. That Echelon squad needs to stay alive with the Bazooka team to keep it in its place. Oh my god. I just see all this barbed wire and it's making me have a headache. You have more of it down south by the southern munition point.
Half-track is ready for orders.
Scouting around, but he probably won't be able to find the half-track with those bazookas protecting.
Yep, helping Hans is taking more territory. And a weird decision by Tootsie. He gets a mortar half-track, but there's nothing protecting it.
That is a very risky decision with a Puma right there, but I guess he feels he has no choice with that MG pinning him down.
The Puma, like, backing on up, it's this, yeah, he's just walking into the base. There's nothing stopping him. I don't know if that was part of his plan. He lured the Puma away to flank. I don't know, but it worked if that was it.
At least he can split the Puma's attention by between these two light vehicles. It'll make it a little, you know, Hans will have to choose his targets, but it's very hard to micro these two half-tracks away from that Puma without losing either one.
Not just that, I mean, like, again, he's down to 2 riflemen. He lost the captain and 2 echelons. Like, he needs more stuff to snare. Riflemen are busy taking the point. The other rifleman squad is God knows where. It's over by the munitions, just not moving. He needs to move on up. He could snare the Puma right now. Drops the smoke, the Puma does. Oh, no. Wait, did they just shoot their own man?
This is just not going the way Tootsie needs it to right now.
Tootsie could have moved his rifleman to intercept the Puma. He chose not to. I guess it was just too much from the micro. And he gets quickly neutralized.
Yeah, microing 2 light vehicles and all your infantry is almost impossible.
Yeah. Oh, just unfortunate. Luckily, the half-track lived. It's not the half-track he wanted, probably, to live, but, you know, it's something.
At this point, I don't see any way that Tootsie's going to be able to recover this game. He's lost his captain. He has only 2 rifle squads, a vehicle crew, and 2 rear echelons, his mortar half-track, and a captain that he's just repurchased. Meanwhile, Hans just has overwhelming map control. All of his squads are still doing fine. He did lose a Volksgrenadier squad, to be fair, but...
Oh, I did not see that.
But he's in a very strong position.
Absolutely. Good news, Bazooka teams managed to neutralize that cover position. So, I guess that's a win. Small one. The captain, though, will be pushed back by the overwhelming amount of Panzerfusiliers just walking on in. And, yep, that's GG.
Wow. What a powerful performance there by helping Hans. I was expecting Tootsie to put up much more of a fight, but I think losing the half-track so quickly to the Puma just totally threw him off balance, and he wasn't really able to recover. Plus the dodge, too. Hans hunting that down really nicely there in the northwest.
Yeah.
He had it totally pinned with 4 squads, and there was just no way that Tootsie was able to save it. And I would just say a really good performance there.
No, definitely. Also, just... Man, yeah, the entire time, Tootsie, I don't think, had advantage over Hans. He was always on the back foot. He tried definitely weird strategies, like barbed wire, to hold Hans back, but it had no effect. So hopefully round 2, Tootsie's able to regain some focus and maybe able to do a strategy that puts Hans through a ringer. But at least from right now, from seeing from the after action report, yeah, Hans definitely led the kill count and damage on Tootsie. So good luck, Tootsie, on the next round, but you have to do something. Hello, everyone. This is Greyshot117 and Romeo casting the second game in the Helping Hans versus Twisted Tootsie series, with Helping Hans doing better in the last round. But, Romeo, why did Helping Hans do so well in the last round, and what was Twisted Tootsie doing this round to change things?
So in game 1, Twisted Tootsie was playing as U.S. forces. He went with an early dodge, and I don't know if it was totally bad micro or just bad RNG or a mix of both, but his dodge was just not getting the damage it needed, and Sternpiles kind of overwhelmed him, did a lot of damage, pushed him off of his own cutoff, and that allowed Folks Grenadiers to get up a sandbag position that Hans really never lost for more than a few minutes at a time for the entirety of the game. Tootsie tried to push him off with an AA half track, but Hans got out a Puma, and the Puma just totally shut down everything that Tootsie was trying to do, taking out, I guess, 3 half tracks through the course of the game, 2 AA and 1 mortar half track, and Tootsie just never really managed to recover from that. He also went with 2 rear echelons, so he didn't have very strong infantry forces to work with. He was relying on light vehicles that just couldn't get the job done. Here in Game 2, they've switched factions, and Tootsie has gone with Osther, and he's picked Ostrupen, so he's going to be trying to swarm the field with lots of cheap infantry squads, and Hans will be doing the opposite as he's picked Brits, which I think is one of the less popular factions right now, but Hans is going to try and make it work, and he's already fielded Lend-Lease assault infantry sections.
That is the understatement of a century, but it is a perfect pick against Ostrupen because right now you can see the... Oh my god. You can see the Ostrupen run in fear as they lost 2 models and most of their health due to the assault infantry section.
It actually makes me wonder if Hans has played Tootsie's Osther before, if he knew that Ostrupen was coming and is deliberately countering it, because that squad just shredded those Ostrupen like it was nothing.
And once again, Hans has completely encircled Twisted Tootsie, keeping him contained in his base. Though, Twisted Tootsie deploying a sniper. I mean, 4-man squads with a sniper countering them can be an effective tactic. Again, you're losing 25% of your squad per shot compared to, let's say, the Soviet losing, I think it's like 16%. So it's definitely a major impact.
Yeah, it should be a good call, especially since there's no universal carrier. It'll be a while before Hans gets a light vehicle out. The sniper just has to be careful not to get caught out of position. Oh, he just retreated really early there for some reason.
You know why? Because if the Ostrupen is about to fall, and if the infantry section push, he'll be completely encircled. So he wanted to get out right before he gets impacted. But yeah, no, actually, you're not wrong with the infantry section. I'm sorry, not infantry section. The British being not really chosen in the tournament. I have a video, actually, I recorded, but AE kind of actually went over this in a video we posted today. The British, I believe, has only been picked 3 times so far in the tournament. Comparatively so, every other faction has been picked 20 to 40 times.
Wow. That is quite a ratio, and it's the same way in auto match. Mostly in my stream I just cast auto matches, and it is very rare for me to see somebody playing Brits, and I'm constantly asking my viewers, what do you guys think? Why doesn't anybody play Brits? Are they bad? What's going on there? And the general consensus seems to be that no, actually they're pretty strong, but people just don't like them, I guess. They're just not, I don't know, maybe they're not fun, or I'm not really sure. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah. I think they're so unique with their fortification builds, with their ability to slowly increase their base unit, their base infantry section to be so strong. Because a lot of other units, like, oh, get the that maybe it's like a bit of a turnoff where other people want to get more specific builds. It also could be the fact that other factions bring out units that are more interesting. Again, you do get the AVRE, but then like the OKW, you get the Sturm Tiger. And out of the two, I feel like my audience generally likes the Sturm Tiger more. With heavy tanks, I feel like the Brits are definitely... They're good tanks, but they're just not as well liked.
I personally am a huge fan of the Comet. I think the Comet is really fun, but maybe it's just too hard to get it out in a 1v1. Yeah, no,
I definitely see that point. And again, right now, the Brits do have a very strong build. The AE... Oh, God. They've... the armored car coming out... The AC is coming out very soon, and unfortunately, Twisted Tootsie would probably deploy if he could the 222, but the AC can easily counter it.
Yeah, it's got really powerful anti-tank capability. It's almost like a Puma, really. It's good against infantry too, but I don't think the 222 stands much of a chance against it. The sniper's only got 3 kills right now, and you know, even though we just spent several minutes complaining about Brits, it's definitely fun to see Hans, you know, trying them on.
I should probably note, even though I did say a few complaints, they're easily probably in the top 3 factions. I actually dislike the Americans more, and I know Major Bones is currently watching, so he'll probably kill me later. But I find them more interesting than them. But I know I'm in the minority in that case.
Well, Hans is similarly in a very small minority, one of the only players picking this faction, but clearly putting it to good use so far.
Yeah, the AEC is giving chase. However, Ostrupen, good save. Again, need that support. Prevent it, the AEC, from just chasing it down and murdering it. But more Ostrupen, very low. Fortunately, not able to do much damage against that infantry. And now we got Panzer Grenadiers on the field, and I believe... No, we still don't have the second tier building up for the Ost tier. So no effective Panzerfaust or anything like that. Oh, sorry, Pack 40s, I should say, not Panzerfaust. Alright, helping Hans, doing once again very good with the map control. He has multiple units spreading themselves out. Actually, one moving in. Sniper can't leave its position right now. It has to be focused on the infantry section north of the VP.
Tizzy's map control, better than it seems, though. He does have 2 VPs, so they're actually about tied. Each of them still having 450 left. Not too much pressure being on Twisted Tizzy, as long as he can hold what he's got now. A munitions point is about to be lost there in the north. But he's doing okay.
One thing I'll say is he can always drop do a supply drop to get that pack and MG. So he has that option, and he has the manpower for it. So I guess he might just be waiting on that. Might just be waiting on the command points. He just needs a quarter of a command point. He'll be able to deploy it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I know Twisted Tootsie makes very full use of the commanders that he selects. He doesn't pick them just for one little feature.
No, definitely. And again, that's what I like about Hans as well. He's absolutely using Lend-Lease to his advantage. A good job cutting off the Ostrobon retreat. He does get a model pick, but not able to... Doesn't really care, I guess. He's just going for the capture points.
He just ignored them like they weren't even there. He doesn't even notice them. They're so weak.
Yep. Yeah, chat, Ostrupen too weak to even put up a fight. Oh boy. Anyway, one thing I will say though is he's also getting a sniper to counteract Twisted Tootsie's sniper. So here we go. We have a counter sniper possibly into the mix.
Very interesting. I'm pretty sure the Oster sniper's aim time is quite a bit faster than the British one, so you have to be real careful with the UK sniper against an Oster one.
No, absolutely. And I love helping Hans, being like, well, I have a little bit of spare time. What can I do? Oh, I know. Let's remove all the cover that's going to give me and my troops a bit of an issue. And I love it. He even destroys the barbed wire in the middle VP, so his men can use the cover again.
Yeah, very nice. Good way to make use of the silence between engagements, for sure.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Panzer Grenadiers guarding over the fuel in the south. Trying to retake that. In the north, Ostrupen are spreading on out with the AC trying to keep them contained, and the Pioneer Squad as well.
Snipers are getting real close to each other.
All right, we got a... I'm sorry, I missed this. We got a half-track on the field.
He's putting assault infantry inside. Maybe his plan to take out the sniper is to ambush it with this half-track. It's very close by.
This is weird. He puts the men inside, but he's also getting the upgrade. Is he... I don't know. His strategy right now, very interesting, is that the men will pop out immediately once the upgrade gets in, or activates. Yeah, there it goes, so...
I think the plan there was to dive the half-track behind enemy lines and then have the guys pop out just as the upgrade completed, but then he didn't really...
commit. Oh, you know, but here's the thing. He did also upgrade his assault infantry section with the Thompsons, and by God, they're wrecking the Ostrupen and pushing back 2 squads. Sniper trying to stop them, unable to. And right now, Tootsie is back in his base once again.
At least the sniper's getting a real nice kill count. He's up to 13 in 10 minutes. Not bad at all against British troops.
Oh, nice job. So again, you got that essentially a white phosphorus grenade, and the reason why that's so impactful is the health is slowly ticking down, making it easier for infantry section to engage later on.
Yeah, that just did a huge chunk of damage to that MG.
Ostrupin did a Faust, but again, the unit's just kind of shrugging it off. It's like, oh, I got Fausted. Well, I'm in allied territory, or close enough, and there's no Axis forces near me. So Twisted Tootsie can't finish off the AEC, and, well, Helping Hans can quickly repair it.
And I think Hans is doing a great job of demonstrating that Brits are totally viable for competitive play.
No, absolutely. Again, I'm unsure why people... I mean, like, all the different players are choosing not to pick it. Yeah, and actually, funny enough, the most popular allied one from what it showed was the Soviet, actually, was the most popular faction.
That doesn't surprise me. I feel like Soviets have pretty much always reigned supreme in KOTOR.
You would be surprised. I've talked to a couple of content creators who thought the Soviet was the least picked. But, yeah, no, that was the reason why I made a video. But then, yeah, luckily, was it AE updated the stats, more stats today and showed that is absolutely not the case. Great shot with the pack on the AEC. Pushing it back, and with the sniper, pushing back the infantry section.
I think Hans is getting real close to a counter snipe. There it is.
Oh, and the blood splatter too. Very nice. Great shot with the sniper, retreating. And Twisted Tootsie lost his big advantage over the infantry section. And now his Ostrupin are going to be at a disadvantage, most likely. Yep, infantry section engaging Ostrupin up north. They have no chance. They're going to retreat. And the big thing, I mean, like, if I was Twisted Tootsie, I would upgrade the Battle Phase 3 just so that way the Ostrupin could get those LMGs. Like, you need something else to give them an edge, and at least make them competitive, because as soon as that infantry section, which I think they already have, upgrade... Oh, no, they haven't. Upgrade to 5-man squads and get Brens, it's game over for the Ostrupin.
Yeah, I mean, as if things weren't hard enough against these assault infantry.
Yeah. Also, getting the counter snipe essentially means, I'm assuming, Helping Hans is going to use that sniper way more against the Panzer Grenadiers and also the Ostrupin. So, yes, now Twisted Tootsie has to expect that.
Yeah, that's a big shift in the power dynamic. The Oster sniper was really the one thing keeping Hans's infantry at bay. Now there's just nothing to stop them rolling all over Tootsie's forces.
Yep, half-track mowing down, literally, the Panzer Grenadiers, forcing them back.
And an Ostrupin squad gets wiped on the cutoff.
No, yeah, absolutely. Getting good use of that half-track. Again, so very effective against infantry and also planes, but at least maybe lucky for us and lucky for the half-track can just focus on the infantry, as really there's no plane ability that he can shoot down with the Ostrupin doctrine. Great shot with the pack on the AEC, forcing it back. Infantry section continue to hold mid, with the sniper providing good support against the Ostrupin. Now he's moving up against the pack. Oh, never mind. Fires at the Pioneer squad. Gonna pull back himself. The Ostrupin trying to focus and then refocusing its efforts on the infantry section. Half-track coming in. Really good position right behind the bush so the pack can't hit it. Sniper just getting shot after shot on it. Again, half-track keeping suppression so they can't chase it. And Pack Gun does miss target. But we do have ourselves a vehicle on the field, which is probably not the vehicle chat probably would have expected. Why do you think, Romeo, that Tootsie got himself an Oswind of all things?
Well, he needs something that can kill infantry. Also, it's the cheaper option. And I guess he's just gambling on his ability to deal with his opponent's vehicles using only AT guns. So he's not gonna use a tank to fight those off. He just wants the Ostwind to start pounding away at infantry sections.
Well, if that's his goal, they're doing exactly that. Then the assault infantry section got forced back. AEC's now trying to hit that. Oh, nice kill with the Ostwind.
Yeah, they went down pretty quick.
Alright, we got a 6-pounder on the field opening fire. Gets a good shot on the Ostwind. Now diving into the smoke. Oh. Luckily, the minesweeper detected the British mine. Again, you have to worry about the Royal Engineers throwing the AT grenade on the Ostwind. And up north, we got ourselves a Cromwell, which is busy just containing the MG and cleaning up a minefield.
Cromwell is a serious threat to an Ostwind, so Tootsie's just not got very many tools to deal with what his opponent has fielded. He's only got 1 AT gun, and Hans has 3 vehicles.
Yeah, he also lost an Osttroopin squad in that engagement, which I failed to cover. But again, the bigger cost is the infantry section dying, I'll say that, but it's a tiny little win. But Twisted Tootsie needs a lot more of those in order to really turn the tide. Maybe killing the Royal Engineer squad could be something, but the Cromwell comes in. Pack does connect. Hans is going to pull on back. Does luckily dodge that shot.
The difference 2 AT guns would make right now is just huge. The absence of a second pack is glaring.
Yeah, and it's not like he can get himself a new one. He didn't build the building, so the pack is unable to be brought in unless he spends 400 munitions. But that would also 400 manpower. Sorry, but also be it for another MG. So. All right, he does bring in the artillery field officer, and that unit's pretty effective at close range, so that could be something. He doesn't have artillery to really bring in, so there's that.
I've seen Twisted Tootsie use this build before, and normally his plan is to get the artillery field officer out and then try and get a Panzerwerfer so that he can do rapid Panzerwerfer barrages. But I don't know if he's going to be able to make it that far.
Yeah, the problem is he's fighting 3 vehicles and only 1 AT gun. So even though that Ostwind is really effective, he has to be super careful with how he uses it. Luckily, the Ostwind's doing a good job at pouncing on the 6-pounder. Might be able to kill it here. He does.
Nice. He might steal that.
Infantry section right there. That would, I think, he would put him at disadvantage. P.A.K.A. needs to reposition itself to help.
Lots of forces are getting thrown into this engagement. It's all about that AT gun. Neither player wants to lose control of it.
Hold on, Lend-Lease. Nope. Sorry, the assault officer gets away. They're trying to kill the 6-pounder with the pack, but the AC now comes into the mix, cripples the engine of the Ostwind.
Hey, look, those Pyos are like crew shocked or something. Did you see that? That was kind of funny.
Yeah, no, I think it was from the shot, but again, unfortunately, it's a bad move by Twist Tootsie. He couldn't get out in time with the pack, and the assault infantry section just came in and wrecked them. Now Cromwell may just move on in, try to neutralize it. There is 1 Ostwind squad, but it has to cover 3 vehicles right now. Oh, I'm sorry, he lost the other Ostwind squad. Dropped a smoke on the unit. Ostwind moving on in, fires a Faust, but not enough damage to kill the Cromwell. And now the
situation for that Ostwind to be in. Oh no.
Oh. And with that, helping Hans, I think, spikes it, and I don't think Twisted Tootsie can recover.
Yeah, that is not good. He wasn't able to take down the 6-pounder, so it's still there and recoverable for Hans. He just lost his pack. Hans is wheeling that back to his side of the map. Tootsie's only got 1 Osttroopin squad left, so I guess he lost another squad somewhere in the midst of all that. The Ostwind went down. He's queuing up a Stug. That's going to be basically the only tool left at his disposal to try and deal with everything Hans is throwing at him.
No, you're 100% right. He needs something else, something. And I don't think a Stug is going to be it. A Stug 3, while effective against an AC and a Cromwell, and now possibly up to 2 AT guns. Definitely not. But who knows? Maybe Twisted Tootsie can get a lucky teller mine or something.
He will definitely need Hans to make some sort of critical mistake to come back into this game.
Okay. All right. Here's the question: if was this game played during one of Hans's drinking streams? Maybe the chat could force Hans to drink a bunch of alcohol. Maybe changing the scenario, making Hans inebriated to the point where he can't play. It's an out there strategy, but it could work. All right. Well, I'll give it this. Tootsie's guarding those VPs with his life. But I don't think it's going to be enough. As the assault infantry section moves in and just wrecks his Pioneer squad. There it goes. And now yep, there goes. Oh, you got to be kicked. Yep, infantry section immediately neutralized the artillery officer as well.
Oof. As if things were not going badly enough. I don't think he was monitoring that. He was microing his Stug in the engagement in the south, and 2 more squads just get annihilated.
Yep. Again, the Stug's good. It's just when you have 2 British vehicles, both very good for speed, I don't think a unit that has a static turret is all that effective. Get British sniper up to 11 kills.
Not going for any huge, powerful pushes, even though he probably could. It's just sort of grabbing the VPs and letting the clock tick.
Yeah. I mean, someone's celebrating in the middle, but the Pioneer squad doing a disco dance that I'm seeing right now. Probably not the right move. Oh, wait. We have a railway artillery strike coming on in. Sure. I mean, I guess it's just to keep Hans's forces away. But
he can only engage 1 squad at a time right now. He needs all of his attention just to get rid of these assault infantry.
Yep. He lacks the fuel to get himself a Panther or something larger. Oh, there we go. He got a kill.
Wow. All according to plan. You second-guessed that railway artillery. Little did you know.
Yeah. Master plan. So, there we go. He got a kill. Now he just needs to keep getting those kills, and he got it. But unfortunately, the Cromwell's moving on in. And I don't think he suspected Hans of having a second Cromwell. Oh. Great shot with the sniper, pinning the Stug.
Oh, man.
And, yep. There it goes.
And
Twisted Tootsie. Twisted Tootsie, you did well, but unfortunately Hans just uppercutted. A Panzerwerfer was your idea? I mean, that's a desperate move right there with a enemy with 3 different vehicles you could dive your base with, but
desperate times.
Yeah, no, that definitely desperate. You're not wrong there. And if we look at the after action report right now, Hans 122 kills as the Brits. Top damage with close to 18,000, whereas Twisted Tootsie is at 15,600. Oh, 700 almost. But yeah, not a ton of kills. Like 16 kills. I'll give credit for the sniper before it perished. Hans had 36 with his assault infantry section. 30. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't say for the other infantry section, but I'm assuming it had to be a decent amount due to the fact they've had 3. But no, I would say this is another game where Hans just played it safe, didn't do any risky dives, and just slowly wore down Twisted Tootsie and waited for him to make a mistake. And when Twisted Tootsie overextended himself trying to kill the pack, or sorry, not the pack, the 6-pounder, it was just too much for him.
Yeah, I thought Twisted Tootsie had some really nice Ostwind micro. It seemed maybe like a questionable build decision, but he got great mileage out of it. He just couldn't quite keep it alive against all of the stuff that was poking away at him. The AEC, a Cromwell, a 6-pounder, just getting shot from all angles. But even with contending against all of that, and even after having such a rough early game against the assault infantry, it looked like maybe he was going to get his foot back in the door up until the point when the Ostman went down.
Yeah, no, definitely. Unfortunate, but still, a good game, because again, he lasted a decent amount of time versus Hans. He lasted 23 minutes, so there's something there, and unfortunately, he just couldn't make it out in the end. But
yeah,
it's
really,
okay. Go ahead.
Really nice performance there by Hans for sure, proving to everyone that Brits are fine.
Yes.
certainly able to contend. Maybe he can convince someone to give Brits a try.
Yeah, we'll see. But that's game. Again, well, and I unless I'm mistaken, I believe that's all the games we had today.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, thank you, GB Pirate, for setting this up and making sure that we were squared away with all sorts of awesome replays. Thank you to everyone who watched, including Hamid Breacher for the follow, and Mo25 as well. Make sure, again, you guys go over to Romeo V2's Twitch channel. Again, I leave that link there so you guys can go follow him. All right, before you guys go, I want to give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Joey G240, Milam, Aphyria, Ace, PyroShark, Tony B95, Epic Pleb, Fall of Man 7943, XSomeToolx, and Netkuba. Thank you all for your incredible support. You guys rock. This has been Greyshot117, and I'll see all of you next time.